Just tell me, after 20 years in the industry, what does the word branding mean to you?
I get asked that every time, right? And it's a huge question. It's a big one. I try to answer it differently every time, just because it's such a fluid subject. I mean, look, branding in the end, you've got a company, and I'm not talking personal brand, right? You've got a company, and it needs a face, and it needs a soul. It needs to come through to a customer, right? So there's basically this entire atmosphere around the company that a customer or a client, when it's B2B, needs to poke through in order to get to what you're offering, right? And whatever that atmosphere is that they need to poke through, that's your brand, right? So it's like, it's your personal brand. It's what you put out there. It's your digital brand. It's, it's a freaking trade show booth, right? I mean, it's whatever. It's what other people say about the brand too, right? It's like this atmosphere around your offering that creates your brand. And you can, to a certain extent, create that atmosphere. You can dictate it. You can think about, what do I want that atmosphere to be? How do I create between my offering and the person, right? How do I create a link? How do I create shared values? Where do we all meet, right? And so that really is branding. I mean, it's a holistic big thing, but in the end, yeah, it's a logo, yeah, it's a name, but it's everything. I mean, it's copy, it's digital, it's offline, it's everything. Does that clear anything up, Mark?
Well, it does. And I think you made a good point. It's not just a logo, it's that feeling, it's the soul, it's the face of your brand. I like to think of branding as, if someone hears my name or the name of my company, what do they think next? What's the feeling that they have? What are the words? Like, I want when somebody hears Mark Savant, they think better content, less time. That's it, right? That's the brand, better content, less time. But I think the reason that's important, Fabian, is that people all the time ask me, Mark, how can I get more reach? How can I get more views? How can I get more likes? To me, it all comes down to the branding, to the messaging. And to your point, it comes down to positioning. And I've heard you talk about this. I want to hear from you, Fabian. Why is brand positioning so important for every person, every business owner?
Brand positioning is, in the end, it is a business plan that is made for your brand, right? So you basically have to define, okay, this is the audience. These are exactly the people I want to reach. This is the category that I fit into. Here are all of these emotional or functional benefits that I provide them with. And then you have to answer Simon Sinek's why. Like why? Like, okay, you do these things, but why do you do them? Why would people deeply care about you doing that versus any one of your competitors, right? And if you're like, no, I don't have competitors, I'm a startup that's doing something uniquely new. Well, if you have something that's worthwhile, it will be copied and you will have competitors in no time. So from the get-go, you need to stand for something. You need to have that. And so if you create that early on, and I mean, look, Mark, it could just be a sentence, right? I mean, it could just be that one sentence. People say, I'm so busy, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm doing product development, I'm doing all of this stuff. I'm like, yeah, do you never have time to sit down for an hour or two and think about your brand? What about that airplane ride, right? What about, the time you sat on a rock after your hike? It's like, just think about what is that why? What is bigger? What is bigger than your offering, right? So positioning in itself is very philosophical, but it's one sentence. Literally, it can be one sentence, and everyone has time for that.
Well, if you don't have time for it, your business it's not going to work. None of your messaging or your branding in general is going to work.